Let's talk about what's going on with Kash Patel, the FBI, and all that type of stuff. So, you guys don't know, Kash Patel is the top dog of the FBI, which is interesting because I remember before the selection, Trump was talking about how he wanted to shut down the FBI, and he talked about how he wanted to shut down the CIA. And then all of a sudden he gets put in place, and now he's pumping the FBI and he's pumping the CIA. Interesting. And then if there's the situation of Kash Patel saying he wants to basically turn the Hoover building, the FBI Hoover building, into a museum, and he wants to send out all the FBI agents and actually go do work, and he wants to do all this and that and just shut down the FBI and everything like that. But he's doing the opposite. He's pumping it exactly like they said they weren't going to do, but they're doing it. And one of the main things that he just did is Kash promoted a guy by the name of Stephen J. Jensen. No, I don't want to sign up for FBI news alerts. Get out of here. Stephen J. Jensen named assistant director in charge of the Washington field office. This is from April 9th. He just promoted this guy. Why is this important? It's pretty interesting because you won't actually see it in the details on the FBI website. No, you have to go to the Wayback Machine and find a New York Times article that talks about him. FBI leaders push to restore trust in the agency they once undermined. In recent days, Kash Patel's the FBI director and Dan Bongino, his deputy, have promised to bring change to what have called a broken institution. Well, if we scroll down, who is this Jensen guy? Well, we scroll down here, and it says it remains unclear, even 30 days after Mr. Patel arrived at the FBI, that what sorts of changes he intends to carry out. He has moved senior executives into new jobs, and current and former agents applauded some of those choices. But some of the moves appear at odds with Mr. Patel's past decision of the FBI's aggressive approach to January 6th. The new assistant director, Mr. Patel, named to run the Washington field office, Stephen J. Jensen, was in charge of the Bureau's domestic terrorism operations section on that day, and he played a key role in responding to the attack on the Capitol. Mr. Jensen was also responsible for establishing a system to monitor incidents of violence at school board meetings across the country as potential acts of domestic terrorism. One of the most serious complaints that Mr. Patel himself had about the FBI under the Biden administration in his 2023 book, Government Gangsters, Mr. Patel wrote that the Justice Department targeted parents who pushed back against the programs that teach their children vile and hateful race theory. The department of Mr. Patel said justified its threatening campaign against parents in a memo that labeled these law-abiding citizens as domestic terrorists. So what does he do? He doesn't go and get rid of the guy who did that. He promotes him. Yikes. They lied to you. Again. They continue to lie to you. Repeatedly. They continue to lie to you. And so when it comes to this situation, we saw what was going on with the school board meetings. All of the parents that were against the woke stuff, against the alphabet agenda stuff, against the racial stuff, against the social justice stuff, and we're speaking out at the school boards. There was cops there, there was sheriffs there, there was DHS in some cases that were there hauling parents off and basically barring some of them from going into the building and whatnot. And this was one of the guys that was in support of this and helping direct these types of things and make it happen. Well, he's been promoted. The January 6th thing, that was a complete planned and orchestrated event. There's no way to put it, other way to put it. You look at everything that happened during that day. You look at the fact that there was people on the inside letting them in, unlocking certain doors. There were certain things sitting in the open for them to grab and do all this type of stuff. And yes, Trump absolutely played his part and coaxed people into going there for this event. He was the one that led them to a trap. And it was a trap that was orchestrated. And this is one of the guys that was a part of making it happen. All of this is theater. It's a show. And of course, they took that event and it rolled into something of supporting Trump, saying, no, he's going to free these people, which he did. He came out and he pardoned the guys and stuff like that. But again, We're seeing the flip-flop. We're seeing the good bad guy, the good cop bad guy situation on all of this. And so what do? Well, Kash Patel lied to you again and went in and promoted the very same guy. Probably because he did his job so well on those other things. The whole left-right thing is a joke. And I hope people are starting to understand that. It's a uniparty. It's a script, actors sitting around a table reading their scripts, doing what they're doing. And that's all that is. I got this video clip. If you guys don't believe me regarding some of the words from Kash Patel, I got a video clip here, interviewed. He's being interviewed by none other than Sean Ryan, which, again, I've talked about. I think he's a limited hangout guy. Once CIA, always CIA. That's how that works. And it's interesting that Sean Ryan, who has one of the biggest podcasts, had Kash Patel on to say this, so it got to as many ears as possible. Again, it's orchestrated. I hope people are seeing that. Let's hear it straight from the horse's mouth, shall we?
Then we need to decrease what I call government creep with personnel. The FBI's footprint has gotten so freaking big, and the biggest problem the FBI has come out of its intel shops. I'd break that component out of it. I'd shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one and reopening the next day as a museum of the deep state. And I'd take the 7,000 employees that work in that building and send them across America to chase down criminals. Go be cops. You're cops. Go be cops.
He said it, not me. Did he accomplish that? Promises made, promises not kept. I like using that term because that's what I always get thrown in my face. Promises made, promises kept. I can go through the laundry list of promises that have not been kept, and it's longer than the ones that have been. So don't give me that argument. But he lied. He lied to you. He told you what was going on. And it's all a joke. It's absolutely all a joke. They're actors, man. They're all actors. I don't know what else I can say about it. But they continue to, because it's such good theater for most people, they're just accepting it and eating it up, and they'll just do whatever they possibly can to hold on to, whether it's the left or the right, their guy in order to do this. And this is the bread and circus situation. This is the bread and circus quote. It's if you keep hook them on bread and circuses, then they won't revolt. And this is exactly what's going on. They continue to go with the lie that they've been given people, that they continue to give the illusion of, which is you can fix this through politicians, through politics, through electing the right people and whatnot. And again, that's another thing, is if you still believe that you have the ability to vote and it actually matters, that's what they hope. They hope that you believe that. They hope that you have that illusion that your vote matters when it comes to this type of stuff. And, we're past the elections and all that type of stuff. It has nothing to do with that. This has to do with the fact of I'm bringing this up and talking about this is because I don't want Christians, and I don't want these people to continue to get blinded and hold on to these men who don't care about you, rather than focus on what we need to be focusing on, which is making sure that we're not deceived, which is spreading the gospel to as many people as we can, which is warning people of what's going on. We need to let go of the world. That's the big one, is we continue to hold on to this world. We have just these vice grips on this earth when it's like, let go, be done with it. Be done with it, because the moment that you let go of the earth, you can let go of all these clowns, and you can start, the worry goes away, the weight goes away, and your focus can be on what it needs to be about, which is Jesus Christ, his gospel, and his warning. That's what we need to focus on. That's why I continue to talk about stuff like that. That's why I continue to point out that these people are liars. They're criminals. They don't care about you. They've got their own club, and you're not in it. Let go of these people. While you're gripping onto them, they're trying to push you away. Or in some cases, put the boot down on your face. So we got to make sure that we're keeping focus on what we should be keeping focus on.